Hi, my name is Aatish Taseer. I'm a writer and a journalist. In 2019, I wrote a piece against Prime Minister Narendra Modi that appeared on the cover of Time magazine called India's Divider-in-Chief. And that piece created a kind of volcanic reaction in India. Modi and his troll army came after me with great viciousness. And one of the consequences of that piece was that they cancelled my overseas Indian citizenship and banned me from the country where I had lived 30 out of 40 years and prevented me from going back to the place where my mother still lived, where my grandmother still lived, and where my whole life was. And I was left in America dealing with the shock of what had happened to me and kind of forced to process this experience of exile. And so I've written a book. It's called A Return to Self, Excursions in Exile. And what I've tried to do in that book is to use my concerns as a writer in India, which are concerns to do with historical fracture, to do with syncretism, to do with the layered history of India, in a sense, the richness of what it means to be an Indian, and to use that to understand other societies, to travel to Mexico, to go on pilgrimage to Iraq, Bolivia, Mongolia, Uzbekistan, Istanbul. And the aim, in a sense, it was almost a kind of act of survival as a writer, because in India, there had always been this incredible tradition of people like Tagore, as well as Allama Iqbal, who had felt that the privilege of being Indian was that because we'd had this experience of European rule, we'd had Islamic rule, we ourselves had engendered religions that had gone so far east into Asia, that a kind of natural cosmopolitanism was the true inheritance of what it meant to be Indian. And so when this horrible act of political retribution happened to me, I thought, it's not something that I'm going to allow to get me down. I'm going to actually use it to fulfill what I see as the real promise of what it is to be Indian. Thank you.